In this video, I'm going to show you how I use digital tools along with my paper planner to help keep my life organized and to keep my paper planner uncluttered and super functional for me. If that sounds interesting to you, please make sure you're subscribed and I'll be right back. Hi, my name is Kristen. Welcome to my channel. I post functional planning videos 3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, usually using my Erin Condren monthly planner. In today's video, I want to talk about how I pair digital tools from Google with my monthly planner so that I can just kind of keep my schedule corralled and organized and not I don't have to keep writing everything over and over again in the paper planner, and it just helps it function a little better for me. So first, let's start with, I'm going to move these off to the side and we will go over those in just a second, and then I'm also going to hop onto my desktop and show you like a screen grab just so it's a little bit easier for you to see what's going on these screens. So first of all, I use this Erin Condren monthly planner as my weekly planner. If you're not familiar with previous videos I've done where I do my plan with me's in here, I take the lined notes pages that are in this planner. There's blank notes pages for each month. I take those and turn those into like a weekly spread. And let me just find some here that are easy to look at. So, you know, I just take one page and make my week. And that's because most of my planning is not about scheduling meetings and such. It's mostly task-based. I am like the home manager in my family, and most of the household stuff falls on me because my husband does work in another state, and so he's not here all the time. So as the other adult in the family, I'm the one doing all that, and so most of my stuff is task-based. And so I have figured out that I can use this monthly planner in this way, and it's more functional for me and how I plan. Now, let me show you how I write down my tasks for the month. Let's go to a different one that has a bigger here. So this is my monthly spread, and that's where any appointments, events, scheduling type stuff lives. But my task lists live here on like the dashboard setup of this planner. And so, you know, I'll break out tasks for goals over here, and these are just like general tasks for, you know, just tasks I need to do during that month. So here's another one. This was March's, and so this is just like my long running list of tasks. These tasks tend to be the ones that I add to my list whenever I make my weekly plan. So I'm not writing all of the recurring tasks in my paper planner because it's just too much. Like, there's so much that has to get done that if I was writing all of the laundry and doing the dishes and all of that type of stuff, every room that needs to be cleaned and all the tasks associated with that and the groceries and all of that, if I was always writing all of that in my planner, it would be super crowded. And it was like that even when I was using the standard traditional like week on 2 pages life planner, where, you know, you've got your columns for each day or even the horizontal spread for each day. It was still just way too much stuff. And I know a lot of people have found a way that works for them to like maybe use stickers and habit trackers and that sort of thing to keep all of those recurring tasks like under control. However, that just doesn't work for me. For whatever reason, it just doesn't, and it doesn't work with my brain. And so I have figured out that if I can make my to-do list for the week just be like the random tasks that are not recurring, and then also the super important priority type tasks, even if they are recurring, if something happens to be super important that week, I will usually write that down. So that is how I do my week. And then each day I like to do like a brain dump where I take all of the things I want to focus on that day and I just make a list in this little notebook, and this comes with me when I leave the house and everything. This isn't just for daily tasks, it's for all kinds of other stuff too, but it's really just a way for me to kind of structure my day. And I look at this and see what I need to work on that day, see if there's anything happening that day, and then I'll just write it here. And then I consult my phone. I have my iPad here as well because I thought it might be easier for you to see up close. All of that gray are my recurring tasks, and I'm gonna show you this better on my PC screen, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But the way I use my phone for recurring tasks is what allows me to not have to rewrite it over and over again here. Well, I will write it here sometimes, but I don't want to have to keep writing all that stuff on my weekly spread. I use Google Tasks, and I spent a day like setting up all of the recurring tasks, whether it's daily, weekly, bi-monthly, monthly, quarterly, anything that I know is always going to be done another time. I have it set up in here, and the way it works is that I get a notification on my phone to tell me, hey, this is the thing that you need to do today, and then I kind of stagger it out so it's not so overwhelming, like over time for that day. So like I might say like start the laundry at 6:30 a.m. and empty the dishwasher at 7 a.m., that kind of stuff. And then I don't always do it at those times, but I will get the notification on my phone and I will see it here in my notifications like bar, like at the top of your screen. The little circle with a check in it is for Google Tasks, and I can just swipe down. Let me see if you can see this better here. I can just swipe down and see that, you know, today we need to change the air filters for the air conditioner, and we did that. So I can mark it completed from here. I don't even have to go into the app. So I can just say it's done, it's gone, it's not on my phone anymore to bother me. I don't have to think about it again until it pops back up on my phone. I don't have to see it in my planner. One of the things I will do is I might write it down here in my like daily list if it's something that's been on my phone for a few days. One of the things I really like about the Google Tasks functionality is that I can keep it up there in my bar and it'll stay there until I do the task, and that way it won't like go away. But if I need to clear that all out, I can just write it on my daily page and just highlight it maybe if it's something that I haven't been doing. Like if it's been there for 3 days on my phone, I can totally just, you know, write it on my list and highlight it and be like, hey, you need to do this, you know. So that is like the number one way I use it. The other way is I like to put it in my calendar because you can integrate your Google Tasks with your Google Calendar and have all your tasks show up on the day that you scheduled them for. And then that's what all this gray is on my calendar. And it just helps me to see that this day I'm probably busy doing these tasks, so I'm going to need to not, you know, schedule something for that day, or that's not a good day to spend like 2 hours working on my content for YouTube or whatever, because I have a lot going on that day. So it's a nice way to visualize it. It's also a good way that whenever you are out and about, at a doctor's appointment, dentist appointment, lash appointment, haircuts, nails, whatever kind of thing that when you're at an appointment, you might schedule the following appointment. You don't have to bring your big honkin' planner with you, or you don't even have to fumble in your bag for a little notebook. You can just grab your phone and just add the event right then and there, you know? That's one way to help you stay like super clutter free. You don't have to carry a giant bag that fits this big old planner. You don't have to sacrifice space and buy a smaller planner that fits in your bag. It just works for me and my lifestyle in that way because I don't have to go to different meetings and I'm not using my planner to like take notes at a meeting or, you know, with a client or something. Everything I do is from home, so I definitely don't need something that is going to work on the go other than just like my phone and maybe this little notebook. This is a little notebook from Zequins. I got it from Amazon. It's just an A6 notebook. I really like it. I wish Erin Condren would have something this size. It doesn't necessarily need to be this like thick, but if they had a book this size, I would like buy a bunch of them. So especially if I could get some cute designs on the covers, that would be like a dream come true. So Erin Condren, if you're listening, let's have some little tiny notebooks, please. Okay, so I'm gonna go hop over to my computer and show you how I set up tasks and also how I integrate my Gmail into it as well to help with, you know, keeping track of digital to-do items. Here we are in my calendar, and if you've watched any of my other hybrid planning videos, you've seen this before. It's just everything. Like I have calendars to categorize everything. So it does look a little bit crowded, but it's easier for me to do it this way than to write it all in my planner all the time, because this to me isn't as chaotic. All the gray that you see that I mentioned before, the gray is all tasks. And so if they are time-based, they will just be like a little bullet point. Like if I have assigned a time to that task, I usually assign most of the recurring tasks a time. And to be honest, I don't know like why there's certain things that I don't have a time, like yard work over here. I try to do a little bit of pulling weeds or whatever. If we're honest, I haven't been doing that lately and I still mark it off just to get it to go away. But it's still on there as like more of a reminder to me that I could keep on top of my yard goals if I put in a little bit of time every week. But anyway, that's not what we're here to discuss. So I do kind of have that like called out as like an all day event just so that it's like in my face. But the ones that have times on them will actually pop up on my phone at a specific time. The ones that don't have times on them do still pop up on my phone, but it's usually just like on there when I wake up in the morning, if that makes sense. Like whenever I look at my phone for the first time, this one's just kind of like the ones that are all day events are just like waiting there for me. Let's see. So if you notice over here, if you have your calendar this way, there's going to be like a little sidebar on the right, and you can put different add-ons here that Google offers that, you know, work with the calendar in some way. And I just have the ones that I actually use. There's so many options here that you could put on your calendar. For me, less is more. Fewer distractions or options makes it less overwhelming. So I just have my Google Keep, which is what I use for note taking. I have Google Tasks, which is what we're talking about now. I do have contacts on here, which I don't use very often because I'm usually using that when I'm in like the email screen. And then I have Google Maps, which is helpful for if I need to find where something is that I have like an appointment at or something like that. But we're talking about Google Tasks. So if you click on it, it will expand and you just get this sidebar, which is really nice because like in your paper planner, you have a sidebar or a dashboard or something where you have your to-do list. This one's great because it's mostly the current items. So no matter how many times you set something to recur, like for example, I have empty the dishwasher. That happens daily. So I have that set to repeat daily. And you can see right here, it says repeat daily at 7:30 a.m. I have not done that yet, so I have not checked it off. But even if I do check it off, it's not going to show up again. Like it's not going to stay on my task list because it's happening again tomorrow. It's not going to show back up until it's due. And so tomorrow at 7:30 a.m., so when I check this off, tomorrow at 7:30 a.m., this task is going to show back up. What I love about that is that it helps it not to be overwhelming. There's not a whole bunch of things on here. It's not just like a perpetual list that's never going to end. So I can check this off when I do it and it will go away until tomorrow. I actually have done the comments, and if you click and expand, this is something that I do every Tuesday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. That's like my comments for Instagram and YouTube. I do try to get to those daily. This is my reminder that if I haven't gotten to it, like, hey, do that, go check that, and make sure you're, engaging with people and talking to people that took the time to leave a comment. It's important to me to make sure I'm like speaking to people. This is the reason I do YouTube and social media, is like for friends, that I have stuff in common with. And so it's important to me to make sure I get to the comments. It's hard to keep up with that sometimes because, everybody's leaving comments at all different times of day. And so just to make sure none fall through the cracks, I have this reminder to do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so today, when I'm filming this, is a Tuesday. So that's on there. And I actually have already done this today. And so I'm going to check this off, and you can see that it goes away. Like, it doesn't add another, like for Thursday, it doesn't add that on there to say, hey, you need to do that. It actually goes into this down here, this completed section. And you can see it right here. It says comments, and then it says next, and then it shows you the next time it's going to show up. And so it stays in here until Thursday, and then it'll put it back in the little today section. And so what I think is really great about that is that these are all of my recurring tasks that I have set that I have already done, and they're not due again until the next time they're set to repeat. And so they're just out of sight, out of mind. I don't have to keep looking at this list and going, man, I have to do that again, or this is so much on my to-do list. Because the way my brain works is I see things that need to get done, and I feel like they all need to be done right now. I don't know why that is. It's just something my brain does. And so when I see, 20 things on my list, even if they're not due until like 3 days from now, I get this overwhelming sense of like dread and like, whoa, I have so much to do. And then I kind of like shut down. I don't really know the scientific reason for that or whatever, but this is what works for me to help me like cope with that. And yes, there's a ton of things that have to get done, but I have spent the time ahead of time to figure out how often I need to do certain things and how urgent they might be. And then I have figured that out for me in my life. And I have created those tasks accordingly so that I just don't have that overwhelm as much anymore. So these are the things that I still need to do today. If you notice, I have one here that says past, and that was laundry. I like to do laundry on Sundays. I did do the laundry on Sunday, but I didn't do all of it. So like I did my son's laundry, and I didn't want to mark this off because I technically didn't do my laundry. My laundry is not as urgent. And so I just kind of put it off with because of like the other things I had on my plate. The past couple of days, I just put that off, and it's still here. So it does say in red, like, hey, this was due 2 days ago. What's neat about that is that little task will stay on my phone. And even if I swipe it away, it'll come back tomorrow because I still haven't done it. So that's the other thing I really like about Google Tasks is that the recurring things, they're going to show up on my phone. I am using my phone all day. I don't know, the jury's still out whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but the fact of the matter is I am on my phone all day, and I have my phone with me no matter where I go. So it's something that I am going to see these tasks, and it is going to be like the squeaky, what is it? The squeaky mouse gets the cheese, or the squeaky wheel gets the oil. One of those, so I am going to see it. Even if I swipe it away, it is going to come back again tomorrow,
and say, hey, you still haven't done this. So that's another way that I find it handy, because I can get rid of all of the tasks on my phone if I'm feeling really overwhelmed with stuff to do. I can swipe them all away, but they are going to come back. So I can clear that if I need to just take a mental health day, for example, and I don't want to do anything. I can clear that all off my phone and make it go away without checking it off. And then it'll come back tomorrow. Maybe I'll be in a better headspace, or I just won't have as much to do or something. It'll come back tomorrow and say, hey, you haven't done this. And if something has been on my phone, like where it says 2 days ago, if it's like 4 days ago, or, I don't have like a set rule, but if I look at it and I'm like, wow, I haven't done that for a few days, I will actually write that in my planner, because it has now kind of morphed into a more urgent thing. If it's something that I realize this really needs to get done, I haven't done it in a few days, then yes, I'll write it in my planner. If it's something like emptying the dishwasher, that happens daily, I'll just check it off even if I haven't done it, because it is just going to come back tomorrow. So if, say I didn't empty the dishwasher today and I wake up tomorrow, it's not going to say to, 1 day overdue. It's just going to be like the new fresh one. So that's not a big deal either. It's just, the ones that are daily don't have like the red like overdue thing if you haven't done it. So that's another thing that's nice too. Like it's not going to build up and have empty the dishwasher 5 times if you haven't emptied it for a week or whatever it is, So I do like the functionality of this like a lot. I can go through and make a new list. So I have like 2 lists here. The one that says tasks is like, those are just my basic tasks. And then I have one that is monthly reset. And that, if we go down here to completed, you can see like the things that I try to do on a monthly basis to kind of reset my productivity and organization system. It's not necessarily, some of them are like home things, like checking lawn and garden tasks. I have like a book for gardening and landscaping and that kind of thing that is specific to my area, and it's broken down by month. And so it's kind of neat because, it tells you what you can expect to need to do that month in your yard. And so that's kind of like, that's what that means. And so really, this isn't like doing the actual garden task. This is more like, hey, look at that book and write in your planner the things you need to do. So most of this is just planning stuff that I do every month to kind of reboot what I need to write in my planner. So that's what that is. The print and file camera roll photos, this one always goes undone. Like, just being real, it always goes undone. I just don't do it. It's a reminder that's important to me, so I put it on here. It actually should probably go in my tasks, but I have it on my monthly reset because it's just part of my routine of going through my camera roll and moving pictures into albums or deleting ones I just don't want, the screenshots, that kind of thing. So that's important because I do use my phone to help me with staying organized. So I do need to keep those parts of my phone like tidy, I guess. The reason I don't ever check this off is because I never get around to printing the photos. I usually am good about going and organizing my camera roll and gallery and stuff like that. It's the part that where I'm not printing the photos that I do put into albums. That's what I'm not checking off. And maybe I should separate that into 2 different tasks. I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's not a problem with the system. It's a me thing. So you can also see here that I have something, this task specifically is not recurring. And so it just shows up under the date that is coming up in the future. This is something I have made from my email. So what's really cool about using Google is that it all integrates together. And so if you get an email, I use my email inbox as like a to-do list, kind of, for things that are email specific. And then, so when something comes through my email, that's something that I have to do like outside of email. For example, this coupon I made. So if you go into your Erin Condren rewards and you convert some of your points into a coupon, it gives you a date when that is going to expire. Well, I don't want to forget about that. So I tend to bank all my points. I don't usually spend them with every order. I don't know. It's just a thing. And so once they're getting to the point where the points themselves are going to expire, then I go and convert them into a coupon. And then that coupon then has an expiration date. So I get an email saying, hey, you did this. So I turn that email into a task in this way. And you can see this little email icon there, the little envelope. That if I click on that, that will bring me to the coupon that's in my email, or the email that told me I have a coupon. So that's kind of cool. Because my coupon expires on August 28th, I just kind of put it like 6 weeks before that, just so I could start shopping and looking for anything I might want to buy. It's just, I give myself a long lead time so that sometimes I have trouble making the decision on whether I really do want something. And it's nice because it helps me have that opportunity to not impulse buy. It's not like a dire situation at the, right the week it's going to expire. I don't have to like say, oh, I'm going to buy this just because my coupon is going to expire if I don't, So anyway, that's neither here nor there, but I just thought I would explain that. That's really the number one way I use my email as a task list. I don't have some of the other ones on here because there's a lot of like personal information and stuff on there that I don't really want to put in this video. Stuff for my son's school and stuff for work and stuff like that. But it links the email to the task so that you can click on that and get more information that you need. It will just bring you right. If I click on this, it's going to go right to my Gmail and it's going to bring me straight into that email. And that's really neat. So, the last thing I want to show you, now that we're in my email, I want to show you how I have my Gmail organized in a way that helps me use it as like a task list here. So I have labels over here on the left, and I use these similarly to how I use my calendars. I just break everything up into what it's for. And so I'm going to collapse these because it's not really important, but I have here shopping. And under shopping, I have something for digital. Now that's if I buy like printables or something like that. I like to keep those separate because then I can easily find the link that I need for those things, like if I haven't downloaded it yet. And then I have one for orders. And so anytime I place an order online and then I get that order confirmation email, I send it to this folder. And this way I can see that I have an order coming from walmart.com and I haven't gotten it yet. So it's still here. If I need to track the package or do anything with that, that's over here. Instead of like having an order tracker in my planner that shipping tends to be so fast these days. Like with Walmart Plus, it's just like Amazon Prime. I get like 2-day shipping. And so writing everything in my planner as as a tracker, it's just going to be too cluttered, too crowded, and it's always going to be out of date, right? So I just have it in my email, and that's just another way that I keep my planner uncluttered. And then as soon as this item gets here, I'm just going to delete this. If I know it's all this stuff is in my account on the website, so I don't need the email anymore. If I ever need to return it or whatever, I can find that information in my account. So I don't need to keep all these emails cluttering it up. You can see here that I have another email for something. I backed a project on Kickstarter, and I have here this little label that says April 20th. So because it's a Kickstarter, it doesn't ship until, the whole Kickstarter has to get funded, and then there's like a date that they give it. So for this particular project, it was April 20th. And this is just basically, I'm going to get charged that day and then they will ship it or whatever they do. I'll get the order confirmation on April 20th. I have here an add-on to Gmail that it's called Gmail Notes, and I will link what I can in the description if you want to do this. It's a free thing. It's part of the Chrome extension marketplace, something like that. And it just basically, you say, add this to my extensions or whatever, and it will put it here. And so it's basically like a sticky note. And so you can add whatever note you want, and you can change the color if you need to color code something. And then that just puts a little note here that, for me, the way I do it with my orders is that I put the date of like when the next thing is going to happen. And then that way, if it's been a while, I can look on here and say, nothing's going to happen until April 20th anyway, so I don't even have to worry about that. Like, it's off of my plate until that day. And then, maybe the next time I think about it, maybe it's April 25th and I still haven't gotten an order confirmation or something. And I can go on here and say, oh, it's past April 20th. And then I can click into the email and see what I need to see to figure out if there's any action I need to take on that. And then the other way is like if it's something like that isn't a quick ship, like if it's not from Amazon or Walmart or something, and it is going to be like, 2 weeks or something, I will put like the date that it's expected to arrive. And then that's another way too, that if I just go in here and I look and scan and see any dates that are past the date of today, then I will know that that's something that I might need to take some action on. The other way you can do this, if you don't want to install like an extension, is Google has the snooze function, and these are things I also use this too because I need all the reminders I can get for certain things. But like this is the email that I talked about that was the coupon that I turned into a task. So this is that email. Up here, you can add to tasks. It's just the check mark with a plus sign on it. Well, what I can do is I can go into here and I can say expires August 28th and put that. It's just another note for me without having to click into the email. I can just quickly scan. But since we're in the snoozed section, these are the emails that I have snoozed. So it's just like it sounds, just like with your alarm clock. You can go in and click the clock and say snooze and pick a day that you want it to come back into your email. So it's going to take it out of your inbox. It's going to take it and put it in this snooze section, and it's just going to be gone until you need it again. So I have snoozed it until the 17th. I've snoozed this one until the 20th. So there's multiple ways that I am going to get in like a reminder to check on these things. It's basically puts it right back in your inbox as like an unread message, kind of. You get the notification for it if you have notifications set up. And so it shows up so that it gets your attention again. So anyhow, the last thing I have these tabs. This is from Cloud HQ, I believe. Yeah, Cloud HQ. And that's another extension I have. And it just basically makes tabs out of these labels here. And you can pick which ones you want, and then you can change the colors of them and everything. I have here one. This is a label that I have marked to do. The stuff that I put in my to do thing, this is stuff that's less urgent. It's kind of like if you follow I think it's the getting things done system where there's like a someday thing. It's sort of like that in a way where it's just kind of like, if I need like a change of pace, if I'm on my computer and I just want to like look at something, but I don't really have anything specific, like these are some things that I have gotten emails for that I thought were interesting, or maybe I wanted to read more about it, or like some of these emails have like video links and just kind of like things where I can learn something or try something. That's all that's all where I put that kind of stuff. Every now and then I go through and decide, am I still interested in that? Yes, I'll leave it there. No, I'll just delete it. No big deal. It's just a way to get it out of my inbox, so that it's not cluttering that up as well. And it's not something that's so important that I need to add it to a task list. So I just put it here just as a way to like remember to look at it maybe again in the future. So anyhow, that is how I use some things like Google Calendar, Google Tasks, and Gmail to help me keep my paper planner uncluttered. I hope some of this was helpful to you to understand like how you can still use digital tools to help you like stay organized and stay on top of things, but also still have fun playing with your paper planner. Or maybe you're like me and you just need that tactile experience of writing out a list sometimes. And it just helps keep the whole thing uncluttered and less overwhelming. And you don't need to add like a gajillion stickers and trackers and stuff like that if that's not your thing. So that is how I do it. If you have any tips or something that you do that's different from what I do, I would love to hear about it. I'm always like interested in learning about stuff like this. It's like, I really like it. And I hope that I was able to explain it well. If I wasn't, please, please, please let me know in the comments. I will definitely oblige. I would love to, make a video on a very specific topic if that's what you want. I'm so into it. So don't be afraid to ask or leave a comment and let me know. And yeah, I will meet you back over at the like overhead camera thing and finish off the video.
I hope this video was helpful for you to kind of show you how you can use a paper planner along with digital tools to keep your life organized and without having to carry your big planner around, and just how you can use digital tools to help you remember things and not have to rewrite them over and over and over and over and over and over again, especially if you hate that kind of thing like I do. But anyhow, I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you really liked it, please consider subscribing. I post functional planning videos on my channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I would love to see you in the next one. If you have any more questions about how I use this hybrid planning system, please feel free to leave a comment. I will answer you. And if you have any suggestions on, if you want to see something a little more in depth or anything like that, of course, let me know and I will be happy to oblige. Anyhow, that's it. See you in the next one. Bye.